You greasy, un-American Muslim piece of shit! You left Little Italy off the map! You better put it back immediately! Italians built and died for New York! You replaced Italy with Muslim go-fucking countries nobody ever heard of! Watch Behind Enemy Lines at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time tonight on X, Facebook, and Rumble. It's time to get rid of this racist Muslim piece of shit! You Muslim piece of shit! Watch Behind Enemy Lines at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time tonight on X, Facebook, and Rumble. It's time to get rid of this racist Muslim piece of shit!
I hope we got the point across on that, huh? How I feel about that guy. So you get the little turban thing. So he's a Muslim from India. So typically Sikhs wear turbans, but Muslims do wear turbans too. In more, a little bit in India, not traditionally, but in many, many cases. So I'm kind of making the play out of him being a Muslim from India. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. Mike will show it later. So we look forward to having you back on the show here, watching us. The first part of the show, we're going to obviously guess we're going to talk about New York and the controversy with Zohran Mandami leaving off Little Italy, a couple different Little Italies throughout the New York area of the ethnic enclaves, and he put in other crazy Muslim countries and got rid of a little like Ireland, I guess, Greece, and those that don't embrace the Islamic Muslim Brotherhood that's destroying the United States of America in New York, right? And he did that as a purposeful FU to all of us, not just to Italians like myself, but to Americans, right? And who built this country. And my grandparents came from Italy. They came through Naples. They're from Bari, southern Italy. So for those of you who are not familiar, southern Italy folks in Sicily, they were kind of the blue collar. They even back then, I mean, God, they were really blue collar. They didn't make much money when they came into New York through Ellis Island. My grandparents, they had to have a job. They had a test to speaking English. My grandpa had to denounce the Prince of Italy. I forgot his name. I didn't even know there was until my mom showed me the papers. He had to denounce this guy. He had to say he has nothing to do. They're not going to be polygamists. All this crazy shit, right? And another thing you have to keep in mind that's different now than back then, right? First of all, the massive debt that we have. Secondly, the handouts and the entitlements that these scumbags expect all of us to pay to give them our entitlements. They think they're entitled to our entitlements, right? They didn't have any of that crap. And what happened back in the day is your families would take care of each other, right? And Little Italy was one of the biggest enclaves in most notable ethnic communities in all of New York. And when the Italians came over, they were treated like shit. Like they were treated like African Americans, and they were given the worst jobs. Um, they were, even my so my mother is, second generation, I'm third generation. The stuff my grandparents went through, the stuff my mother went through. When I was a little kid in Chicago, we moved in the top of a bungalow, and the people moved out because of us being Italian, my mom being Italian. When we moved into the suburbs, they're making fun of my mom and me. When I was in my teens, I was in Mount Greenwood. It's called the fucking Dago by a bunch of Southside Irish walking around with the hottest Irish girl in the neighborhood, by the way. That's why they're jealous. They got in the car to, fight. I actually beat the shit out of like three of them. Three out of four. The fourth guy ran. I swear to God, that's another story I'll tell you for another time. But they were calling me an effing Dago to get out of the neighborhood. I'm kind of like, what's this, Rob? They're yelling at Archie Bunker himself, calling me racial slurs. So the Italians went through a lot of shit. My uncles went through stuff in the military when they were fighting in World War II. And the Italians built New York. They built the tunnels, they built the bridges, they built the buildings, the marble, all kinds of stuff. They built, you hear the African Americans say, we built America. Well, first of all, that's not true, but they did build a lot of parts in the, southern part. The Italians built New York. The Italians built New York, right? And for this piece of shit to erase them off the map is insulting. And it should be a wake up call to all of us, not just Italians, all of us. So sorry about my little diatribe. Mike, why don't you talk about some of the other stuff we're going to talk about after we talk about our Marxist Muslim go fucking piece of shit? Can't hear you.
Sorry, I was still muted from the opening. But yeah, we'll get to more to some of the other stories later. But I'm going to add a few things on this because, like you said, he erased the Italian neighborhoods, he erased the Irish, he erased a bunch of Jewish enclaves, and replaced them with let's see, we got little Palestine, little Egypt, little Pakistan. I guess he also erased part of Chinatown, replaced that with. Now I lost the note, but again, like it's not an honest take, and it's about erasing America's history, erasing the people that came over here, that sacrificed, came from all over the world, and assimilated into the country, and built New York, built Chicago, the people that built up America. I mean, everybody knows they're part of the history there in New York, except for Mandami, because again, he's trying to erase that and replace it with this nonsense that somehow Islam is part of our core value and was intricate in America's founding, and it's a lie.
It's a lie, Mike. Before we do this next video, which will be cool, can you pull up the map? The map I sent you, so people could see
Yep.
it themselves. And then
Yeah.
after that, the one of Mandani. I don't know if you got that teed up afterwards with him giving the finger on Twitter on X.
Yeah, actually, I got that right. I got that right here. We'll pull that up, and then we get the map.
This was done in 2020, so he didn't know he was going to be a mayor. Look at that greasy Muslim Marxist giving Christopher Columbus the finger. That shows back then what he thought of Italian Americans and Christopher Columbus and Italian American heritage, right?
Yeah.
That's in 2020. And more important, people, this is still up, right? I didn't know this was still up until right before the show. It's still up. You know what that means? It's another fuck you to Italians.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. He's not going to take it down.
He's trying to blame Mayor Adams and blaming the enclave map on him, and we inherited. No, that Muslim piece of shit went through that map with a fine. He went through that. He knows exactly what he did. They approved it. They did it on purpose. This is evidence to show you what he did in 2020. In addition, he was refusing permits for some of the Italians, right? I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know if you saw that, Mike. He refused certain permits from Italian events as well. So this guy needs to be taken out of office.
Yeah.
The Italian guys, take him out of office. I'll be careful on how I say that.
Yeah, well, here's his map.
Yeah, you'll see. Look at this stuff. Senegal, Pakistan. Oh, little Palestine. Are you fucking kidding me? Little Odessa. India, Guyana. I mean, how many people are there from there? Egypt. Little Tibet. How many people live in Tibet? Like 15?
I don't know. After we left the border open for 4 years, there might be more than we think.
I mean, this is just crazy. It's a blatant, and there used to be in the Bronx was a little Italy. There's like a number, I think, of different little Italies in New York as well. And then when the Italians came here, the turn of the last century, right? They would live in Little Italy, and I think there was there was a square mile, and there was a few 100,000 of them living in the original Little Italy back at that time. And they would actually live based on, which was, as I learned even being Italian, is that they would live. The Southern Italians would live together, but based on if they're Calabrese or Bari, where my grandparents came from, or Sicily. It was weird because before little history on Italy is like there wasn't really an Italy before